Okay, Herbert. Danny, here are Herbert's rankings.
Might as well call him Herbert.
Second passer rating, second in yards per pass, tied for second, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Over 300 total yards and 5th in completion percentage.
Before you even go to Danny,
Yeah.
I have terrible news for everyone.
What is it?
What are you doing?
I have terrible news. Danny's agenda has broken contain. See what FanDuel tweeted?
FanDuel's tweeting stuff?
FanDuel.
Oh, okay.
Is Justin Herbert really the next Peyton Manning?
Victory!
With a career
Victory!
comparison. Now, to be fair, DraftKings is our preferred betting sponsor. However,
course.
FanDuel does have a reach. And
How about that?
FanDuel is quote tweeting this goofball and then putting up their own stat panel, asking the question. Now you can get back to it, but I don't
Ball
like that
knowers.
one bit.
Ball knowers over there at FanDuel. And Brew, ball knower.
Hey,
Number 1 on the
thank
MVP ballot. Well done.
yes, absolutely.
I mean,
I'm back to rooting against you.
what?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What?
Is Herbert top 5?
I mean,
Officially a top 5 QB.
yes, obviously. Wait, you can't. You
have him number one. You have him the best in the league.
I got him as the MVP right now after 2 weeks. Officially, and look, I know my thing is fluid. We got the top 4.
I thought we
But
were
hold on.
alive.
After 2 weeks,
Well,
there is no official number 5 yet. There is no official number 5 right now.
It's still fluid.
Yeah, we gotta see how this season plays out. Now, if he plays this way,
True.
say wins a playoff game, then you can throw him in there maybe. But what if he bombs out in the playoffs?
Well,
like he
that's
did.
That's an A-block topic for January. my
Okay,
friend.
I'm just saying I can't officially say he's number 5 right now.
We did a whole thing, Brew's ballot. You have a little outfit, you have the trophy, and you said, and my number
outfit.
1 vote.
Well, right now, after 2 games this season, I don't think he's better than Lamar Jackson
I want
or
to
Patrick
hear
Mahomes.
Danny's take, but I
You get what
agree.
I'm saying?
Yes, Brew doesn't think Baker's the third
Right.
best quarterback in football, but he had him third on his ballot.
Also, for the record, there is no official. We're just talking.
But there's kind of an official top 4.
Yeah, it
That
feels
pretty much everybody agrees
mostly
on.
universally agreed upon top 4. Yeah.
So I'm just saying,
Top
I'm not
and
saying
now
that
Danny
the
thinks
5 is locked.
it's a top
I can't
5
say the
and
5
Herbert's
is
in it.
locked.
Go ahead.
I think the 5 is locked, and it's partly based on, yes, what we have seen through these 2 games, but also what we've seen through 5 years. But those numbers that you just put up, we could put them up again. Well, I'm just saying, all of those numbers are in the top 5. And it's 2 weeks. It's a 2-week sample, but all of those numbers are in the top 5. And if he needs to do it for a full year, he needs to win an MVP, he needs to do those sort of things, he is starting hot, like MVP candidates have started before. If you have 600 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks, and a 2-0 start just through your first 2 games, like you come out of the gate that hot, your list is MVP winners and guys who had great years but lost to the MVP. So, I mean, it is out of the gate hot. And I don't feel like, because FanDuel is doing the heavy work for me there with the Peyton Manning thing, what they haven't done is they're not tracking year 6 Peyton, where he won the MVP, with year 6 of Herbert. And Justin Herbert's crushing him. I mean, better completion percentage, more yards, more touchdowns, same number of wins, both undefeated.
Would you, and I don't want to get into, I know Wilds will kill me, we don't want to get into a historic, but the numbers, it was different playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, that's why
You got
he's
it.
throttling
That's
him
why
with-
the numbers are. So it's not an apples to
Yeah, but
apples.
the 5-0 versus 1-2 is
but,
something.
quarterbacks
So
are getting
the point is, the wins now through 2 games have caught up with the eye test. You said earlier, like, no one's ever denied like his ability to throw the ball.
Yep.
Well, now they're letting him throw the ball because the rest of the team, including the coach, has figured out, oh yeah, we have this truly elite quarterback. I mean, they came on the beginning of the broadcast last night and they're like, the Chargers think they maybe have the best quarterback in football. The Chargers believe they've got an MVP candidate here. And I know that's a team talking up their own guy, but they are game planning around him as such. And so now that he's empowered, I don't know why anyone would think he can't be top 5 or
he
eventually
can
higher.
be.
Oh, I think
be.
he can be. I think calling him that right now is ludicrous. I think that he has, because he's, to your point, he's always had the talent.
Yeah.
It's always been about, have you produced? And there is literally nothing, in my opinion, a player can do through the first 2 games of year 6 to cement that stamp that we're talking about. So because in a weird way, a rookie would have almost a better chance of like stamping it because they.
Well, a lot of people thought it was Jaden.
Correct, and that's kind of my point. Like Jaden, because all we've seen was excellence and then a real playoff run and all of that. That to me was almost more evidence than a player who we have seen play awesome in regular seasons. We have seen, to your point, whatever record he has as a rookie, he broke a record, and he still has
most touchdowns for a rookie ever with 31, and most passing yards ever through 5 seasons.
Right, and
to start a career.
Right, and for me at least, that still wasn't enough to have him in contemplation for the top 5 because we have other quarterbacks who maybe don't quite pass the eye test as much as him, but have done so much more and played their best ball in the biggest spots. And so I do think Herbert is off to an awesome start. I don't love, and I'm curious where you guys stand on it, I don't love how many hits he's taking running the ball. I think you don't sign Najee Harris and draft Marion Hampton to have your, some of your best runs of the year be from your quarterback. I don't like that Mahomes is doing it with the Chiefs. They're doing it out of utter necessity. They can't move the ball and their running game stinks. These guys have, I don't totally understand that element of it, and it's a little concerning to me, but he's off to a great start. But to just say he's stamped ahead of whether it's Jaden or Stafford or Baker or Wild Guy Hurts.
It could become J-Lo if he, continues has a great
And J-Lo passes an eye test too in a different way than Herbert does.
He puts the ball in harm's way, though, more than Herbert does.
Well, in the playoffs, they both put it in harm's way a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Herbert had the worst game of his career in one spot where 2 interceptions went off his guy's hands.
But how many did he have that game?
It was 4.
Okay.
It was.
two of them were off his guy's hands.
Breaking them all day. 4 interceptions.
and Wild's your point for kind of our show, I think smartly has been, we can't make every single conversation about the postseason when we're in week 2. And I agree with that. I also, like last night when I heard on the broadcast that he has 30 touchdowns to 3 interceptions in his last however many games. Those asterisks, those stats, the 4 interception playoff game almost weighs heavier because he only threw 3 interceptions all of last year. You know what I mean? That makes it feel more so far out of the norm that it felt like it was a real flaw in that. And so I will need to see more, but you've believed he's top 5 quarterback since Oregon, I think.
For years. And one team drafted Tua in front of him. Yeah. Insane.
Chargers defense, this is their 4th game allowing under 10 points. Are you at all worried that you're going to have to go down the Jalen Hurts MVP candidacy route rather than the Joe Burrow candidacy MVP route? Last year, Burrow, we got to light it up. We got to score 40. They could have scored 14 and won this game.
Well, I mean, obviously, and Nick's made the point before, a great defense helps a quarterback. It's invaluable. But there's no A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley on this team. And his offensive line is very good, but it's not the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, the Slater injury. I don't think the Chargers' overall roster can be compared to the Eagles, especially on the offensive side.
Also, he's throwing it a lot more.
I think Wilds is saying that they take the ball out of their hands.
They just need to win the game. That you can play a more, like what they did last year. You can play a more conservative style of football that doesn't fill up the stat sheet.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if their running game comes on, but right now he's doing it. Last year they were a great running team.
Yeah,
for 2 games this year they've been a terrible running team.
He's throwing it so much this year, it's incredibly.
With Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh, it's shocking how much they're leaning into Herbert.
Yeah.
What did Baker and the Bucs prove last night?
I mean, for Baker, he's a continuation of what he's been proving the last couple of years. That he is, as Brew mentioned, in that argument as one of the very best quarterbacks in football. And I don't know, Christina, if we have it or not, but what Danny and Wild stat for Justin Herbert with his ranks for this year, that stat exists for Baker with the ranks over last season to this season. You know what I mean? The 20 games. I mean, that That's stunning.
The touchdowns are wild.
Yeah, man. And since he became a Buck, he's second or third in passing touchdowns. I don't remember what the number is, but I know he's top 3, or it might even be first, but I know he's top 3. And so he has become not only one of the more clutch players at the position, and amazingly, one of the more reliable players at the position, but also the heartbeat of that team.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I think those, as much as I hate some of the Herbert runs and the Mahomes runs, I'll take it with Baker. Because I think that's part of, like, what makes him him, is like the play last year, and I should have had him pull it, when it was 4th down and Nicky Bosa had him, and he just held on to Nicky Bosa's face mask, basically, while completing a pass. Like, the gritty, tough plays are a part of what makes Baker special and makes his teammates love him. And I think, Brew, given their schedule, I think the 1 seed is very in play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, I heard you say that earlier. Look, it's in play, but I think because, like, I don't think the NFC North is as good as we thought it was going to be. Now, Minnesota might not be that good. Chicago might not be that good. So you got 2 teams. Yep. So I think that the winner of that division could have a much better record. So it's in play for them, though. But they proved they're a contender. I agree with everything Nick said about Baker. And I agree even with the running part. That's part of Baker. Like, his story, if you look at his story his entire life, in high school, people didn't believe in him. In college, they didn't believe in him. Then finally people believe in him, and he goes number 1, and it doesn't pan out. Then he becomes this underdog again, and now he's back at the top. So, look, it's great for him, but they're a legit contender. Danny, I would have Green Bay, Philadelphia, and Detroit ahead of them, but I kind of think they're a second-tier legit Super Bowl contender, though.
I think they are too, and what they're doing right now with Wirfs being out, maybe the best tackle in football. That's a huge piece to
it. And then the other guy got hurt yesterday.
Clancy, their other tackle got hurt last night, and Clancy obviously is a big injury for them. So we'll see how injured they are, which is a huge determining factor in every season. I heard what you said about Baker earlier and how you would process it if you were a Browns fan. And I'm with you because they have all of this history of quarterback futility. But I went back and looked at it after I heard you said it. He did play 59 games for them.
Yeah.
And the last year it was 17 touchdowns and 13 picks. So Wilds, you were like, if we get Baker on, would he be this player if he would have stayed there? My hunch is he would say, and the true answer is no. Because like the part of that question, what did Baker and the Bucks prove? Just focus on the Bucks piece of it for a second. When we talk about best organizations in football, we talk about the ones that have hoisted the Lombardi Trophy, understandably. Philly, Kansas City.
Well, the Bucks have. They've hoisted it.
Sure, with Brady, right? I think Brady gets more credit for that, but you're right. But what they've done and what Baker has done, like Chris Godwin had reportedly $30 million more on the table from New England, and he went back to Tampa. They brought back all 11 starters on their offense. Liam Cohen left, and they're still winning. Like, he's done it with multiple coaches.
I think 2 straight, because Canales left, then Liam Cohen.
Like, they are just quietly, Jason Licht, the general manager, the Todd Bowles, resurgence as a head coach. They are quietly a top 5 organization. And just in terms of stability, production.
They win the division every year.
We don't talk about them in those terms, but I don't know what else to say about them. They are just underrated and underappreciated.
Cowboys Bears on Fox. Russ just threw for 450 yards against the Cowboys. So is Caleb going to light up Dallas in Chicago? Well, Ben Johnson has seen improvements from his quarterback. Take a listen.
I did see significant growth. It's not perfect yet. I did think he got better from week 1 to week 2. I'm encouraged by what I saw, and I'm hopeful that we'll continue to see another leap here this week.
Danny, you've been following Caleb. Do you think he's going to take a leap against the Cowboys?
Yes, I do. I also don't think that progress is totally linear. Like, I think there will be a step forward and then a step back, and this is going to be, a flight with some turbulence here in his first year with Ben Johnson. And changing his style of play and being more on time and in rhythm and adjusting to this, but ultimately it will pay dividends because the stuff that he can do that is so special is not going to go away and it will always be there. You want that to be your changeup. You want your fastball to be in the pocket on time, and that's what Ben Johnson is coaching him to do. And if he beats the Cowboys where they're favored, and then he beats the Raiders where they will likely be favored if they beat the Cowboys, they'll be 2-2 heading into the bye, and I think everything will be okay. So I do expect him to take a step forward. I do think he is going to be fine, and I think a lot of the sky is falling rhetoric out of the Detroit game specifically is silly.
So is it possible that Caleb will be fine, but the sky is falling in Chicago? Because that would be my concern would be this. Because the Chicago Bears just allowed 52 points.
Yeah.
And when we've talked about him, we're talking about Caleb. Like, was that a positive
I think it's a mistake.
Right. Here's the thing. He is going to be the epicenter of the attention. Of
course.
You know what I mean? People don't care, about, Jalen Johnson's out for the year. Or like, well, that's not, and Ben Johnson's not a defensive mastermind. He's an offensive mastermind. People are going to be focused on that. And so my concern would be that even if Caleb takes positive steps like you think he can against the Cowboys defense that has not, aside from post-weather delay in week 1, has just let every team go up and down the field at will, why do I think that the Bears defense is going to slow down what right now looks to be like one of the most prolific passing attacks in football? And will that muddy the waters to a degree on what progress Caleb is or isn't making if they get blown out again? You know what I mean?
Well,
that would be my, and I'm not saying I'm picking it, but I don't know that I can pick the Bears right now to beat any team with a good quarterback because I just don't know how they're going to get stops against those teams.
They better not lose in a blowout. They can lose, but it better be a shootout.
Oh.
I don't expect them to throw for 450 like Russ, but if they lose, because like I said, to me now, this season for Bears fans is about Caleb. Does he prove to us that he's our guy for the future? And if he goes out there against the Cowboys and throws for 290, something like that, a few touchdowns, and they lose
35-27.
Yeah, you can handle that.
That would be great.
If he doesn't cook the Cowboys, if he looks kind of like he's looked these first 2 games, then that's kind of problematic.
Would you be happy with that, Danny? That it's like a Caleb.
You know how many times I've done that Bears show on the radio? Like, hey, there was a little bit of progress, but they lost. Would I be happy with it? No, because I'm not ready to give up on this season.
Hold on.
I'm not ready yet.
On that, I have a
question.
question.
We'll get there soon.
I have a question. What is at your core, and you're right now an avatar for Bears or Bears fans?
Yeah, good.
A 9-6 Bears victory where Caleb throws 2 picks. And,
you mean a game I've seen 700 times in my
life. Or 35-31, Caleb's
I'll
awesome.
take that one.
I knew it.
Really?
So you're not ready to give up on the Bears season, but you'll sacrifice it at the altar of Caleb.
0-3 they are done.
Yes.
I've seen 9-6 with the quarterback be bad so many times that I would take
what I think.
Offensive explosion. And I know not all Bears fans will agree with me on that, but forest through the trees.
Yeah.
The more significant thing is, oh, wow, we do have a quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the bigger thing.
We also need to see Ben Johnson get in rhythm a little bit.
Yeah, that would help. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.